What's going on YouTube? First video on the channel. Welcome. If you do not know who I am or haven't seen my face on Instagram or anything like that, my name's Cam Benjadoon. This is my first video on the channel. What I want to be discussing on here, guys, is that I'm going to tell you how I went from a 16-year-old academy footballer to a high-ticket closer. I was able to live in a pretty decent apartment, do some pretty cool things, but I just want to break down how I actually got there, because it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Even get to this, my main thing of this channel, because I've always wanted to start YouTube, and it wasn't until my boy really pushed me to do this, so which I'm glad he did. I really want to make my channel fully authentic with you guys. I don't want to come off like a, someone who's just telling you guys that's not actually real. I pride myself on actually being someone who's real, you can relate to, have some fun on there, do some vlogs, but document my journey and just be authentic, So yeah, as I said, starting from my journey, I was a 16-year-old academy player. I'd played football my whole life. All I wanted to be growing up in school, around my friends, all I was known as a footballer. Came for a good academy in the Premier League at the time. I don't feel the need to say the name, but anyways, getting out of school for day release, training every day, traveling hours on ends. My dad was traveling with me every single weekend just to play one game. I had to travel an hour and a half to be home. Yeah, so just to give you a bit of context. And for those guys who, if you play football before, someone in the UK is called a scholarship, right? So you get a scholarship at the age of 16. Scholarship is basically a 2-year contract, whether it's the one before you get a pro. So you have to get a scholarship to then get a pro, and then you're closer to making it to the first team, earning the big bucks, being on the TV, all that jazz. So obviously that's something that I was striving for. I was nervous. That was my main. Everyone at that age, they performed to be able to get that contract right there. So that's the state I was in when I was in school. That's all I was focused on, just getting that contract, playing well every game, training sessions, all that jazz, to be able to secure that contract in the end. Long story short, the day came, the decision time whether I was to get it. We had to travel, me and my dad had to travel an hour and a half just to get the stadium. I've never played in the stadium, but for some reason the meeting was at the stadium because it's a big deal. Got nervous as hell. I wasn't talking the whole ride. Imagine, guys, you've been training for something your whole life, basically come to this decision. It's comfortable. Now I was nervous. So in there, 2 coaches suited up, never seen my coach in a suit before, suited up. A decision was going to be made that would change my life forever. I'm going to get the contract, whether you're going to become a pro, all that stuff. And then yeah, until he said this one word, which I zoned out for the whole meeting. Until he said this one word, which is, unfortunately, Cam, we cannot accept you. When I heard that, I'll be honest, guys, I teared up. I held it in until the meeting, walked out with my dad. He could see me tear up, gave me a hug. Went to school the next day, people asking me, oh, did you get in then? And obviously I had to tell them it didn't happen. Which then came to my realization on what I actually wanted in life. Football, something I wanted to continue to do, which I did. I went on trial with different clubs up and down the country, Bristol Rovers, places like that. And then I even went to a college for 2 years to play football there. I sat down and thought about it a lot, especially as I got older, as I was going from 16 to 18. And in football who've got released, they know this as well. Because as you get older, it's going to get obviously more and more difficult to make it to the level that you want to make it. If you want to get to semi-pro, I don't want to make semi-pro. I don't want to be one of those guys who just plays semi-pro. No disrespect to anyone who's doing that, but that's just not something I wanted out of the game. Was in college, training, and I was just thinking to myself what do I actually want out of this life? Do I want everything that I envisioned as what not many people are doing? Or becoming a 1%, just not being a regular individual in life, not just letting life pass, but actually achieving something, going and proving to people what I can actually do, fulfilling my potential, all that thing. So I was just thinking, what's a logical step to take now, at 18 years old, to continue playing football, rely on hope, rely on an opportunity, rely on an agent, which is not really in my control, or is it to use another vehicle? Try and get to that place where I'm an exception, I'm in a 1% another way. I decided to, come across online money on YouTube. Like everyone does, go through the crypto, the trading, all that. Me, myself, personally, I came into copywriting. So I watched the podcast, and I remember someone just saying, if you're trying to make online money in 2023, I think it was, you should start copywriting. So into copywriting, subscribed to a bunch of YouTube channels, started writing copy down, email marketing, reached out to people that had no idea what I was doing, I was clueless. So I just got disheartened because I was making no money, zero bread to my name. I was just relying on what I worked from previous jobs, restaurants, cleaning jobs, everything like that. I came against something called appointment setting. I never knew what appointment setting was, never heard of it before. I just knew it from a friend, and I seen a video about it. You can earn 5 to 10K a month just appointment setting. I was like, eventually that led me to where I first invested into myself. You know, a parabolics, invested into myself into a network, which I'll be real with you guys was pretty dead. Let's just keep it real on this channel. It was pretty dead. However, I did meet someone who did help me out, and I was getting onto what I thought was a sales opportunity, you know, a opportunity, a role, to appointment set, to outbound set, to make a bit of cash online. Now that I know it was a setting call, he was just qualifying me, getting my pain points as we do, and then say, so what, you got about like 3 grand saved up? You got about 3 grand? I was like, yeah, I got 3 grand saved up. Okay, you're getting scheduled onto a demo and your ass is getting closed. So I remember a couple days later, I was so gassed for that meeting that when he added me to the 3-way chat of a closer, I was even asking, when is the meeting? I was so gassed, I was just ready, and then hopped on with the closer. I was already closed at that point, and pitched me an academy fee. I won't say who it was, but it was a pretty expensive program, which I didn't even have at the time, so I had to go on a payment plan. Thought at that point, he was just screen sharing me, testimonial, someone in a Merc, and in my head, I'm gonna have to be humble. The amount of money I'm about to make, like, I have to be humble, because obviously I'm going to be a gazillionaire in a couple months now. I have to be humble around the people I know, you know, just keep it on the... Obviously, that didn't happen, right? If I was in the trenches, I was literally just outbounding whilst learning closing, outbounding the Facebook groups, just getting leads anywhere I can. Eventually, as I started to get better, as I checked through the door, a couple $100, you know, my first 1K a month, etc. Then I started to want to learn to get to closing more. I started to take it more serious, and eventually started applying for offers. IG DMs a day, but getting on a couple of interviews, securing them. However, it came to a point I was like, why am I not getting an offer? I feel I have a good skill level now. I've been in the trenches, I've been setting over the phone, over DMs, I've even been trying to self-set my own demos. I was thinking, why am I not getting an opportunity? Even though I've invested, I've got the skills. And it was only up until this man right here, something, because he landed a closing offer before me, even though I started appointment setting. I started in the trenches before him. But tell them how you did that, my guy. How did you get an offer? How did you land your first offer?
Bro, like, a lot of these closing, they start with ass offers. I just started with one of the best closing offers in the game.
Bro got straight to it. Just skip past it. Wait, but you set before, right?
Yeah, I set before, but in terms of closing offer, that was my first closing offer, and I just got it through my personal brand. Just creating Instagram, started making content. I already done loads of mock calls and stuff, so I knew how to close, and then
So wait, that's literally it. Like, just through personal brand. Because the way I look at it is like you have to put yourself in a business point of view. Like, if you're doing 100K a month and you see someone no profile pic saying they can 10x your revenue, have you 10x someone's revenue before? You haven't. Shut your mouth then. You haven't done any of that, but at least look like you have. So when I seen that you got that, I'm thinking, how have I been in the trenches the whole time? Studying, phone setting, barely scraping by with just a 1K a month, a couple $100 a month. How am I actually going to get to that 10, 20 G's a month? And it was only when I started posting videos online, I started attracting more opportunities, starting gaining better connections, investing into my network and whatnot, where I actually got these opportunities, which has allowed me to do what I'm doing now. And obviously that's what I tell everyone, you know, as you can see in a whole lot of deals as well. I tell the students inside there is like, you need to build your personal brand, you need to position yourself, positioning, like, not even to troll, not to be like just to count on what Luke Belmar says, but you need to position yourself in the best possible position you can to see results that you want to see. Like, you can't see so much progress without documenting your journey. Like, it's better to have a personal brand and not to need it than not to have one and to need it. So that's why anyone watching this video, if you're doing something cool, it doesn't have to be sales, it doesn't have to be anything, just document your journey, just go through life, film what you need to film. Even playing football, I wish I filmed it. I wish I filmed, you know, me going to games and whatnot. I could just look back on it now. Worst thing, give me good memories. So yeah, and then I just started closing, started getting better. Now doing a whole lot of deals with my guy Jai as well. So it's just onwards up over here, living in a decent place. But again, I just want to make this channel authentic to myself. I want everyone here to be a long term. If you made it for this part of the video, then I appreciate you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to see more in depth of what I actually do, the technical parts of it, make sure to get on my Instagram at CamCloses. Follow me on IG. In the comments, say what videos you want to see, all that good stuff. But yeah, CB out.